imagine we're hearing this story for the first time.
Oh, really?
Which many people are.
Okay.
Explain who he was and why it was pivotal that he had you.
So William Pike and Patrick Kwaku, core owners, shareholders, Radio Africa, they're big in Uganda, decide, you know, they'd like to expand their footprint. They want to come to Kenya, and obviously they're looking for talent. But obviously you build the engine properly, masts, equipment, and then you start thinking about talent. And
so they literally went and started putting up infrastructure.
Yes, and they were here on a weekend.
Yeah.
Yes.
A lot, and the reason why I've said this is a lot of people don't know the only infrastructure before was probably the KBC infrastructure that people riding on. So
and at the time, there was 13 radio stations in the market, and the reason I know this number is that as KISS was starting, one of the big things they were told by every actually media house, media buying organization, is that there's 13 radio stations in the market. There's no room. You're not going to make money. There's I've just told you, 380 something frequencies. Yeah, later. But you've got to, and I think we sat and still do sit on the nation's mast in Limuru. And that's why William and Patrick were in Kenya. They had gone to see that.
Okay.
And of course you listen to radio and they heard me.
So what happens now when they hear you?
Nothing. I didn't know. I mean, I heard the story after I'd met them.
Yeah. They give you a call though?
No.
Oh, they did? Okay.
No.
Okay.
They placed an ad in The Nation, which I still have, and I'll dig it out for you. And it said, "Are you better than Phil Matthews or Caroline Mutoko? If you are, we want you." Yeah,
what?
Patrick Kwaku was a bit of a gorilla. Yeah,
they did.
He is an absolute study in guerrilla marketing. Completely.
That is crazy.
Yes. Are you better than Phil Matthews or Caroline Mutoko? If you are, then we want you.
And you are on Capitol.
Yeah.
So you see, that's brilliant.
In which world has Patrick not gone for what he wants? He's still hiring random people and getting people sued. I mean,
yes.
You know, now you sit in senior management, you're like, carry on.
That is brilliant.
Yes.
He places an ad.
Yes, and he says, "Are you better?"
So he knew. That's brilliant.
He said, "Are you better than Phil Matthews or Caroline Mutoko?"
So what happens when you see this ad?
First and foremost, it pisses Linda Holt off. Because that's literally, you know.
Kwaku is a ninja.
Yes, that's the term. and you know, it's been talked about in the office for days. On the other hand, at the time, Phil was exiting. He hadn't been well. Joe Tunis was leaving. She'd fallen in love with an amazing gentleman who was a British squaddy from Nanyuki out in Battle Axe. And I don't know whether they're still together, but she was so happy and so loved up. And she was going. She was going to the UK. And I remember I said, "Can I have a primetime show?" There's something beautiful about being 25, 26, just so bold. Yeah. And I was like, "Can I have a primetime show?" I mean, I was like, opportunity. Mukona gaps. Linda Holt ni nani? Alikuwa ameshaenda katafuta watu wake. Kina Alex Belfield and I don't know who else.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I remember being told you're good where you are. And I don't think it was meant badly. I mean, this many years later, you grow, you learn. It wasn't meant badly. They really believed that that's where I belonged. On the jam, playing the black music.
The dark music.
The dark music. I knew in my gut I could do more. So, and I think only Kiprono has this letter. I don't even think if it's in my file.
Yeah.
So I wrote, and I said, you know, if you're looking for me, you're going to have to find Kiprono Kiton and ask him. I think I said, you're not going to get better than me, so you might as well hire me. I think my application letter was a paragraph.
You brought the gorilla as well.
No. I mean, what else was I going to say? You've already said.
Yeah, you've already. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, the ad has preambled me. And I mean,
brilliant.
Are you looking for me? Yeah. And I think
how has it even been in that capital when that ad has gone out?
It was very surreal. It's the first time I realized I was something. Or that, you know, because you please remember, it's work. It pays the bills. And it's good work. I must have been on an odd 90 G's at that time. Woo. I was please. Come on. And then I got a call from Martin. I always tell people it's so interesting how I got to work for Radio Africa, because the person who heard me was William, and figured he wanted me. The person who called me for an interview was Martin Kafafa, and the person who first interviewed me was Kiprono.
What?
Yes. And the person who picked me up from Capital on my last day was Kiprono. Kip picked me up.
Yeah.
He picked me up and said, let me go and show you where you're going to be working.
He is or was a co-owner at Radio Africa.
He's my chairman.
Oh, my bad, sorry.
He's my chairman.
Get your facts
and my
right,
pal.
Yes.
He's my chairman. So, and I think a year before, I had met Ezra Bunyanyazi in the worst way possible. Capital had a membership at the Stanley, and I used to work out and swim there. They have a heated pool. I think it's still heated. And I'm swimming. I'm doing my laps. And the GM then, I think it was Simon Karinditu, was it? Comes to the edge of the pool and stops me and says, there's somebody here who wants to meet you. And I'm like, I'm in chlorine, nose is running. Who wants to talk to me in a pool? And Ezra, the late Ezra Bunyanyazi, leans over and says, we're doing something in this country very soon and we'll be working with you.
Ooh.
Yeah? So I meet Kip, and Kip wants the modalities, he wants to know. And Kip also said something to me very, very interesting. He said, are you sure you want to do this? Because I hear you're loyal to a fault. I said, yes, I want this. So after that, I met...
If they had given you the breakfast, there's no way you'd have left.
No, I think I would have.
Okay.
I think I would have.
Why?
Because I don't think you understand how... It was a body blow. And I can speak candidly here.
Yeah, you always do.
It's the first time I'm saying this. Alex Belfield was nice, he was funny, his dinky-doo thing. I didn't think he was that great. I'm sorry, I didn't. But what really, really pissed me off was this other person who was hired to replace Phil as PC, this guy called Dusty Rhodes, who sadly, and I can say this, full-fledged me, stripes earned, the whole works, decimated this market. You need to beat my record, not just in numbers and audiences, but in revenue. Okay? No, talk about what you want.
Yep.
Is there money? Are you making money? Are you making bank? Does payroll rely on you? Don't talk to me unless you do. Okay? Lower your damn voice. But he constantly needed me to do stuff because he didn't know it. And I'm like, what, this guy? You shafted me for this guy? No. No. I mean, those two hires told me...
They don't see your value.
No, they couldn't see me. Period. Not even value, couldn't see me. Which is why I was very shocked as I served notice, did my last show. I still have the full printout of all the emails people sent. It's like, so sad to hear you go, all that. Kiprono picked me up. He used to drive this maroon Magnum. It's a pickup. It's a clear Kaleo farmer. And then, you know, took me to Westlands. And I think 3-4 days later, we are served.
Yep.
And Kiprono, man, the journey I've worked with Kiprono. Kiprono takes me to see Kimani Cairo, our lawyer. And I mean, obviously, you know, you wear your nicest gray and black skirt suit because you're going with a chairman and you've been sued.
They're saying you're not allowed to be on radio.
I am not allowed to be on radio.
Yep.
But obviously, I hadn't seen the pleadings. So I meet Kimani Cairo, senior, and he peers at me from his specs and he says, who are you? Cairo said, I know who you are. He says, I've never heard of you. But the pleadings here say if you're allowed to go on air, you pose a threat to your former employer. Who are you? He says he listens to the BBC, he listens, he has never heard of me. Yet the pleadings before him are huge. He says, and of course, can you imagine? I'm sure he got the pleadings. He got the lawsuit. It was like, Kiprono, bring this person, we see them. Kiprono shows up with a guy.
You're in your 20s then?
Yes, I was.
Mid-20s?
Yes. So, you know, so that was also very shocking. But also for me, and this is where I was like, huh, so you do see me.
Value, yeah.
So you do see me. So what's the problem? What's the problem?
That actually, I get what you're saying. That's a quagmire. I'm willing to do this, and in fact, I'm asking you to do this.
Tell me.
You've closed the door for this.
You've closed the door. Tell me.
You want to close the door.
Yes, you want to close the door anywhere else, but you won't let me. You won't let me. You won't even tell me you need another 6 months. Maybe let's wait a year. But you're still closing the door on me? And that was not just it. I remember, and this one hurt. Very, very few things hurt me. I remember as we got on air, because, you know, we were able to go ahead, the new narrative was, don't bother to put advertising on that show. She'll never make it. She just cannot command a morning audience. She's black, female, and under 30. I could not do anything about those 3 things. I couldn't change who I was. I couldn't change my gender. And I was 25 going on 26. But because I was black, female, and because apparently to command a morning audience in this market, you had to be you had to be male, white, and over 30. Preferably over 40.
Yep.
And let me tell you something. She knew what she knew. She knew what she knew. Because the reason she had been able to dominate the market is that she had a formula. That formula looked right. Male, white, over 30.
Suddenly,
this 26-year-old chick can't do jack. You want to bet?
Oh, okay. That is, people, one of the things that I say on CTA is you never really know people until you take the time out to get to know people. A lot of people may have judged you without even knowing this and understanding. I can imagine a 25-year-old going through this. They're just transitioning to do what they like. They're seeing an opportunity, trying to make more money.
Hey, and the paycheck was good.
Happy that an opportunity has come. You're being sued.
Yeah.
Your brand is being questioned. On the flip side, and this may be where that was what I want to concentrate more on. What did that then instill like a fire in you that drove you to become this person who is seated here right now? Like a
there was definitely a need to prove the narrative wrong, but it wasn't my driving force. What I also found interesting, and I know I've had this conversation probably thrice with my chairman, with my CEO, and it was, I always remembered without a doubt that these people for some reason put their faith in a 25-year-old chick, you know? And for whatever that was worth, I was going to prove them right. Also, at the same time, I had an opportunity to do something. I'd been given the show. See, I was saying I wanted. See, now I have it. Quavo, see you do it.